welcome to Scorched Earth. This is going to be a reading for June for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. You know the drill now. If you don't know what your Moon or Ascendant signs are, there's a link down there in the description box that will help you. There's a number of other things in the description box as well, so it's worth having a look. From everything to do with what decks I use, how to book a personal reading, information on how to donate to the channel. Patreon is now live, so if you're interested in that, that's a possibility. Channel memberships are also opening too, so something to bear in mind. And all my social media links are down there, and ways to get in touch with me. I've launched myself onto Twitter again after a 5-year hiatus, so if Twitter's your back, come and find me over there, or we can chat and stuff like that. And I've had a lot of contact from people wanting to send me things, so I've set up a post office box, and the details for that are down in the description box as well. There's going to be an extended. The link down there is also in the description box, so you can come and check that out if it resonates, if this reading resonates with you. I'm also toying with the idea of doing some shadow reads for this month for the individual signs as well, so if I have gone ahead and done that, that link will also be down there too. So that's quite enough waffling from me. Well, I'm doing a live stream at the end of this week on Saturday. I don't know what day that will be. I haven't announced it yet. Saturday 30th. I'm going to do one then, so if you want to come and talk to me there also, you can do that. And if you've got any questions to ask, I'll put a post on the community tab and you can kind of put them in there, or just hit me up on Twitter or something like that. Right, so Virgo, we're using the Crow Tarot today. Let's see what June has got for you. So 3 cards for Virgo, please. Okay, so first card we've got is the 3 of Cups. The second card is the Knight of Pentacles. That's Virgo energy for me. And the final card is the Lovers. Now this is kind of like past, present, future, I guess. Ooh, this is exciting. We've got the Fool at the bottom of the deck. Virgo, are we turning a corner? This is tremendous news. Right, let's get some clarifiers, and then we'll get on with this. Give them a good shot. So, where's the 3 of Cups here? First card we've got is the 5 of Wands. And we've got the 6 of Cups. Interesting. Pentacles. Pentacles are tremendous. More major arcana. We've got the High Priestess and Strength. And then the Lovers. The End here. And the Lovers here. Virgo. What's the Lovers here for Virgo? Wow. Big changes afoot. The shadow card at the bottom of the deck is Death. The Death and the Fool together. Incredible energy. Major arcana stuff. June is going to be very important for you. How interesting. This dropped out while I was shuffling and I put it back in because it didn't leak, but it obviously wanted to come out. So I'm loving this for you, Virgo. This is the most positive I think I've seen you since last year. And it's tremendous. Sorry about the noise. Apparently lockdown in the UK is over, even though it's not over, and everybody's just sort of acting like it is anyway. So the first card that you've got is the 3 of Cups. Now this is the recent past, right? So we're talking maybe only a 2 weeks period, something like that. Right? The first thing that I'm drawn to is this laurel wreath up in the corner, right? This is card of victory, right? Sometimes when you see the 3 of Cups, it can talk about third-party situations and stuff like that, but I don't get that feeling here because of this laurel wreath. I feel like this is you leaning on the support that's around you that might quite possibly might have been around you for some time, but you weren't really ready for it. I feel like I get a feeling of you coming out of yourself a little bit And kind of rediscovering those friendships that are so important for keeping you grounded and keeping you steady, like, and really feeding off them. You know, there's an empowering feeling coming off the back of it. The two clarifiers that we've got are the Five of Wands and the Six of Cups. Now, I just want to pull another card for that because I can see it going a couple of different ways. But the Five of Wands, Six of Cups. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Got the Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck here. It's crossroads. I feel like you finally realised that you've stood still for long enough, right? This is what's been going on in a 2 to 4 week period, right? Because we've got more major arcana. We've got the Star and the Sun, okay? This is a card of Aquarius. Excuse me, card of Aquarius, card of Leo. But I don't feel like that's relevant because there's movement on both of these, right? There's somebody on a horse here, putting one foot in front of the other. And then there's the Sun, which is the most positive card in the deck. It feels like you're kind of done spending your time in the dark now. You kind of got on your horse and you've plopped one foot in front of the other and just kept moving. And bit by bit, things do feel like they are improving for you. Yeah, it's possible that what's put you here has been some sort of conflict with a soulmate, and if it was, then this is the end of the cycle that's been it's been trying to power down for months now, but there's been resistance from you. Like, this feels like you kind of letting it go, right, and moving forwards. And what started off as a journey in the dark, powered only by your own hope for the future and probably little else, you know, just following a star and just hoping that moving forwards is the right way. It's kind of gaining momentum, right? You see how the night is now fading and you're coming into the sunlight, and it's almost like you see how this person is kind of flopped over on this horse here. It's almost like you feel strong enough to use your own legs now, Virgo, right? You got down off the horse, you're letting the horse rest, you put all your stuff in your bag and you're just been plodding forwards. I love this for you so much. It's such a change in perspective to what we've been seeing of late. Your current energy is the Knight of Pentacles, and like I said, that is card of Virgo, back on a horse again. But notice how here we've got this crow and he's got this pentacle right here. Now this pentacle signifies something of importance, right? Usually it's resources, but let's not get bound up in the possibility that that is just financial resources, because that isn't always so. Sometimes it's your time, sometimes it's, you know, the amount of effort that you need to put in, but sometimes it's how you value yourself, right? It's about taking what's important and leading with that. Right? Maybe this is the star that you've been following, right, in the last couple of weeks. It's not been... There's been a subtle shift, right? So rather than being reflective and looking back and feeling hurt and wounded and pained about all of these things, so the balance has slightly shifted, and there's an acceptance that things are now the way that they are, and it's all about looking forwards and how you move in the future. Now, it's an earth sign, you know, the Knight of Pentacles. So it's slow, it's steady progression. It's not running before you can walk, right? One foot in front of the other, plodding on. Maybe you're spending a lot of time sorting out your you know, the resources in your environment. Maybe you've got money things that need sorting. Maybe there are practical things around. But whatever it is, even if it's your own value, you're moving now, where before you were stuck. And I love this for you, I absolutely love it. And underneath here, we've got the High Priestess and Strength, two major arcana, right, underpinning this movement that's going on here. Now, whenever I see the Strength card, right, we know that what somebody has been through or is going through is hard, right? There's nothing here that says this has been easy or you've been feeling sorry for yourself or anything like that. That's not what these cards are saying. What these cards are saying is you've been working through a process, right? This feels like you've been working through a process, and it's now, you know, it's like the was it, the 7 stages of grief or something, right? Or 5 stages of grief. I cannot remember what they are off the top of my head, but you've been working through it. You've been honouring your process, and that resistance, rather than it feeling like a snap decision that you made, right, I'm just not going to do this anymore, it feels like it's just gently started to fade away, you know. So now it maybe only exists at the corners of your, you know, periphery somewhat. But you're looking towards the future, and I'll pull you back to these 3 shadow cards from the 3 decks. We've got the Fool, we've got Death, and we've got the 2 of Wands. And I just can't tell you how much I love this combination, because the Fool is moving forwards without that baggage, right? It's uncharted territory. It's going somewhere that you've never been before. And it signifies now this embrace of the new that's coming towards you, because that old cycle that you were kind of dragging along in a sack behind you, it was slowing you down and it was keeping you stuck. And this feels like a glorious acceptance of the ending now, right? Understanding that, so the dead wood leaves your life, that new things will come in, right? And they are coming in for you. And I said this months ago, they were coming in for you. But this is obviously a process that you've needed to go through, because it has been the collective Virgo energy, right? But the 2 of Wands is my crossroads card, okay? And just as there is movement, so you are kind of now at the point, right, where you're like, well, which way do I go, right? Which means that you want to go, which is glorious, because you didn't want to go before, right? Anyway, it's been hard, and you have grown as a result. Right? Because just as strength indicates difficult circumstances, it always talks about growth to me. When it's come out with the High Priestess here, this is internal growth. This is quite spiritual, actually, in a lot of ways. But it can talk about learning to trust slowly but surely, learning to trust your own inner wisdom about things, your intuition. That's possible. But the other thing that the High Priestess talks about for me is that she's almost a kind of, she's for me a kind of transition figure, because these two pillars here, the black one and the white one, they've got a B and a J on them. It's for Boaz and Jahim, or Yahim, or something like that, right? But it's the end and the beginning, right? It's that space between the two, and that's where you're sitting at the moment, but your face is turned towards the new start. There's no resistance, there's no clinging on to things, at least not too hard anyway. You know, there's going to be some residual stuff that you need to deal with, but ultimately you are transitioning, right? Death is a card of transition and transformation. Endings, yes, but new beginnings too, because it's inherent within them both. Tell me about the High Priestess, please. Outstanding. So the 2 cards that are clarified, the High Priestess, are the Ace of Swords and the High Priestess, right? The Ace of Swords it's the truth, first and foremost, right? Whatever that looks like, and sometimes that can be an uncomfortable truth, and sometimes that's something that we can, you know, readily throw ourselves into. Given the dark place that you seem to have come to, I feel like this is a kind of darker truth which you are accepting and moving forwards, because you see the value of the truth no matter what it is, you know, whether it's good or whether it's bad, because fundamentally it is the truth. But it does also talk about a new way of seeing things, right? It can be an idea, right, that just comes in from nowhere, a flash of inspiration. But it's new ways of thinking, new ways of speaking almost sometimes as well. But it's a gift, and it's come to you from within, right? It's maybe during this lockdown time, like so many other people, you've spent some time reflecting, and you've spent some time considering what it is you actually want from your life. And what it is that you want is not where you were, it's what did the infinite potential of what lies before you, right? The High Priestess being here twice is quite astonishing, right? Definite trusting of intuition, definite kind of Comfort with your insides, because I think that you really weren't for such a long time. But look how she's staring at herself in her reflection there, right? Yeah, she's completely naked. She's completely vulnerable. She is completely seeing herself, and she's comfortable with it, right? Maybe she wasn't comfortable before. Interestingly enough, I've just noticed that these could be the same characters. There's a small little child, like proffering its clothing to this big old raven thing up here, kind of vulture-y looking stuff. There could be the same character on the card, right? So this character's kind of shot its clothes in the Ace of Swords. Maybe the ways of thinking that were holding them back, and now sat gazing at their reflection going, yeah, this is cool, I can do this, this is all right. I love it for you. Now, for June, what we have is the Lovers. Now, for me, the Lovers is a choice, right? I sometimes see it as romantic relationships, but not very often, if I'm honest. I see it as a choice. And whenever we've got a choice, we have, by extension, options, one thing or another. And it's a conscious choice, right? It's something that you consciously have to decide to do. The first option is this Five of Cups here, right? And the fives are all about changing and shifting and discomfort, usually, right? And particularly in this one, you can see that this person is grieving here for these cups that have fallen over, right? It's looking at all of those ones that have fallen by the wayside. It's kind of staring at those, not noticing the two that remain here. Now, it could be because you're in this period of transition at the moment, right? And you've got some cups, right? You've been working on building up some cups, building up some friendships, relying on people. I do feel like you've been leaning a little bit more on people than maybe you were comfortable with doing, and they have nourished you enough to hold space for you to be able to kind of work through these things, right? So focusing on what is lost on this side. On this side, we have the two cards, and we've got the Two of Pentacles and Temperance, showing them there when the light's really bright. Right. So it could be a Sagittarius that you're dealing with, but it might not. Right? And I feel like it's not, because I feel like this is more about the other meaning of the card, which is the true meaning of the card, which is about balance, right? Both of these cards talk about balance, but from different perspectives, right? So this is Major Arcana, so this is kind of really, really important, and it talks about, a far kind of broader sense of balancing out internally, but balancing out how you feel within the world, but it's pouring from one cup into another, right? It's taking time, it's taking care of yourself, right? Expressing compassion and forgiveness for yourself and all the difficult things that you've been through, as indicated by these mountains in the background here with the crown on the top, right? You've come through, right? You might not be unscathed, but you're here, and now it's time to heal, right? So that's balance of an emotional sort, but also, in a kind of wider sense. But this is kind of a balancing of resources, right? It seems very clear that you have a fairly stark set of options to choose from, right? You either go down this road, and I feel like you've made too much progress, really, to consider it, or you go down this one. Now, the fact that this has come up for what is coming up for you in June, I got to say, it then puts me in mind that there might be something that comes up that maybe pulls you back to that dark place that you've been sat in for a while. Maybe it's new information, something like that. Something comes up. And this is often the way that these situations kind of play their way out. Particularly when you've got some sort of, leveling up and growing and all that kind of thing. You get sent, another kind of triggering situation to see how you cope with it, right? To give you a chance to kind of flex your newfound muscles over the situation. I'm not talking about, beating people up and stuff. I'm talking about these newfound ways of doing things, right? It's kind of giving you an opportunity to exercise that and see how you do, strengthen it, if you will. Yeah. What about the Five of Cups, please? Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. We've got Justice and the Three of Cups and the Moon, which suggests to me that there are things going to be coming to light in June. Maybe for some of you this involves a court case or legal issues. The Moon and Justice is things that are hidden, right? Normally I would talk about a karmic thing, but I don't feel that with it. It feels kind of like not quite as all-encompassing as this. This is something more to do with what you think is right and what you think is wrong. But dropping that everywhere. Maybe something comes out in this friendship group that you've got back here, because these are the same cards, right there. Three of Cups and the Three of Cups. Maybe something comes out through your friends that you were not aware of, that you feel is unjust. I feel actually quite strongly as I'm saying it that that's what it is, and that's what pulls you back into this space here, you know, just being all like, shit, well that's all fucked, isn't it? Except that it's coming out for a reason. Like I said, it's giving you a chance to kind of flex that, exercise that newfound thinking that you've got and apply it, right? And concentrate on keeping yourself balanced above anything else, right? Balancing out your resources, your time, your effort, your energy levels, your money, all of it, you know, your material space, all of that, you know, maybe give things a bit of a clear out, you know, maybe things have got a bit stale over lockdown, you know, like freshen up your environment a little bit. But ultimately, pay attention to yourself, be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself. You've been through a lot and you are now healing and you've made tremendous strides. But these things come to test us. So, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to dig around a little bit more in the extended, so if you're interested in that and this has resonated, come and follow me over there. The link's in the description box. But if not, like I said, if you want to like, share, subscribe, do all of those shiny YouTube things, I'd be super, super happy. And keep an eye on the community tab, because I'll be announcing the live stream and, you know, the other new things as and when they're happening will get posted on there, along with all the other social media platforms that I'm spread out all over at the moment. So, right, take care, Virgo. I love you very much. I'm really pleased for this. I'm actually really, really proud of you, because this has been really hard. There's light at the end of the tunnel now. You've turned a corner and I love it. I might call this video that, actually, turned a corner. Right, take care and I'll see you soon.